what's going on, Shannon? My name is Mike. This is my brother Steve, and we own S&M Cleaning Solutions. And we just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The 30-day sprint was amazing, and you really helped out our company a lot. Thank you.
Recording in progress. Welcome, Natasha and Tamara. I'm so excited to have you guys as guests. And welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so great to be here as well.
Definitely. So we invited you. There was a whole query over the guest process to be on the podcast. So we kind of chatted over the phone to decide what we're going to talk about. And there was a couple things I thought were very valid for our audience. So we're going to get those covered. And let's talk about your website and high level first. So we were chatting before the show started, and you guys had mentioned that you had redone the website and then you had paid somebody at high level. I've seen them all over Facebook. What was that process like? And if you don't mind telling us what it cost you for others to know for in the future so they can budget for it.
Okay, not a problem. So with Go High Level, it's pretty much an all-in-one system. So you
Right.
can have your website done. You can do email marketing campaigns. You can monitor your Facebook ads. If you're running Facebook ads, you can also do Google. So we're still pretty new to it. So we
Okay.
haven't really mastered everything. But so far, what we love about it is that it kind of replaces us subscribing to multiple different systems, and it keeps everything connected. So we pay currently
97.
yeah, $97 per month for
That's it?
that's it for, I mean, there's, if you want additional features, let's say for example, if you want to do WordPress, it's gonna be an additional $10 per month. So there's additional costs with different features, but pretty much if you just only had $100, you could get the most basic, and you still have a pretty good, like, cohesive system working with. The only downside to it that I've seen so far is that we still have to have a different scheduling platform for
Right.
jobs, because Go High Level doesn't do dispatching.
Right.
That is what we need the most as cleaning business owners.
It's frustrating that I remember when Get Jobber came onto the scene, it was like the newest thing since butter on bread. And I was like, you guys have all heard me talk about it. Like, I legitimately would have to call 50 clients, 50 to 60 clients a day, because that's how much we were doing volume wise. Hi, this is Shannon from Castle Keeper Cleaning. I just want to let you know your scheduled appointment is blah, 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 blah. And then when Get Jobber came on the scene, I was like, oh my God. And so I was like, this is such a game changer. And then they've slowly added more features, but I haven't seen one thing that integrates it all.
Mhm.
And it would be nice if they would do that. I don't know if the industry will go that way or not. I guess we'll see. But I've eyeballed High Level. I've been curious. I see the girl with the fingers pointing up. That's her. And I think you can also, they have a version that you can buy and sell as your own. Is that my understanding as well?
Yes,
That
that's the white label version, which is $4.97 per month, and then there's an additional setup fee, I think, of, I don't want to quote the price, but I think I saw 1,500, but that's a one-time cost.
right.
So they'll pretty much do any any customization that you need. And if you need something that is very large scale, then that's additional money. But pretty
Right.
much what you have with the 297 plan is that you can have multiple accounts underneath your main business, but when the person logs in, it's gonna show as Go High Level. But when you do the white label, it would come up as Clean Freaks University if that's the name of your company. So you get that branding out there, and they remove all of Go High Level from it. So it's just your company as the focus.
Interesting. It's very tempting from my perspective, but I'm like, do I want to add another thing? Because as entrepreneurs, especially as women, we just keep gobbling it all up. We're like, okay, I'm gonna do this extra thing. And it's just like realistically, do you have time to create your own agency? Because a lot of people do. My frustration with the cleaning industry in general is that everybody is suddenly a cleaning expert. I'm like, so how many houses have you cleaned?
Yes.
That is true.
Or the everything, the new hot thing is the remote model, and I've seen people, and I will not name names because I'm not going to call them out, but they're down in Mexico or they're in Paris, and they offer the remote model, but the reality is that it can't, unless you have smooth operations and good hires, it's not going to work. You're going to crash and burn.
Yes.
But it's frustrating because they have really high expectations for cleaning techs, and I'm like, you have to have at least you should clean a couple of token houses so you understand what it's like for the cleaning tech to engage with the client, what it's like for the cleaning tech, especially when you work in a big city. You have to carry your gear up multiple stairs or in a ladder, then you have to find parking. I mean, there's all of this stuff that goes on,
That you
and
have to factor in.
you just don't know, or what it's like for a cleaning tech to have to go back and fix a discrepancy, what it's like to have to engage with a client who's upset because they expected you to walk on water when in reality we never walk on water.
Yes.
So
You know, I am glad you mentioned that. Since our topic today is contractors,
First.
right.
so we've had a couple of them reach out to us,
Mm-hmm.
and we're actually working with two as a subcontractor. Just because it's closer to us, so we can take on the additional job. However, when they approach us and the questions they're asking us, and when they give us a job, it's like, oh, the house is 3,000 square feet. It's three bed. Actually, no, they don't even tell you the square feet. They say, it's 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. The price is 120 to do the cleaning, and when you pull up the address, you see that it's 3,000 square feet. I say,
Oh my goodness.
whoa, no, we can't do it for that cost. That's it. So recently we just asked one, I'm like, hey, have you ever done the cleaning yourself? He's like,
Right.
no, I just do the sales part. I'm
It's
like,
always the, oh no, I would never clean. I'm like, I know it's nice for people to pave the way. I totally like that. But the reality, we are a service-based industry. We're very human oriented. I don't care if they have robots or not, but it's true. You when you ask them if they've cleaned, then they always say, "Oh, I've never cleaned a toilet." And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I don't know what to tell you. And you can't, for the listeners who do want to run a total remote model, you can do it without cleaning. You have to have a grip of cash to cover your payroll because it's
yes.
stressful. You can't bootstrap it. You can bootstrap it the other way, but if you want to run a total remote model, you can't. And I know some people do offer bootstrapping. I've never seen it be successful. They're over there crying in the corner, going,
Yes.
"Ah," right?
What's happening?
So 3,000 square feet for $120. Woo! That's just brutal. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
assuming you turned them down, right? You didn't try to make it work.
no,
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 no.
no.
Thank goodness.
The last one that reached out, we did have to kind of break it down and educate them a little bit, you know, because they were like, it should take you about an hour and a half, 2 hours max, so maybe
3,000
$80
square
would
feet?
do. That's the max that we'll give, and we're like, okay, we were just like listening. I'm like, yeah, newbie. to ourselves, and then we kind of broke it down for him, and let him know, that's not how it really works. We understand where you're coming from, and try to just kind of piece things together for him so that he could understand. They tend to reach back out and, ask questions just to get a little advice to go back to handle their clients, but, we enjoy helping.
Sorry, I was removing the AI off there. I hate when it pops up and you're like, and then it doesn't disappear like it's supposed to. I'm like, okay, wait. So yeah, dealing with newbies in the industry, and everybody is getting into the industry because they're expected us to grow from 300 billion to 600 billion in the next like 2 to 5 years. I think AI is going to be really prevalent with how we do a lot of things. I've seen a lot of changes in the last 12 months. Like I finally have just nailed down ChatGPT. What about you guys?
I'm still working on it.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm getting much better with the prompts,
With the
and
prompts.
the whole cool thing about ChatGPT that I just learned as well is that I can ask ChatGPT, what is the best prompt that I can tell you to say this, and it will
Right.
give me the prompt, and then I give it back to him with some more additional information, and then it gives me bigger details. So the more you use it, the more you see how much work you can get done, and then it also helps your creativity to flow, because you may give it, say, okay, I want this, that, and what I always ask it afterwards is, and add any other thing
Any other
that you think
suggestions?
might
Yes.
also be helpful, and it
Right.
always gives me additional suggestion. So it's always fun using ChatGPT, but at the same time, sometimes I feel I get sucked in and I'll sit down trying to go deeper and deeper
Deeper.
rather than just say the information and just go.
I like it as well. I've used it to ask me like interview questions, pretend I'm in Forbes magazine and I'm being interviewed for an article for them, and it actually will spit out the questions because of all the information I've put into it, and it will ask me the questions. I'm like, this is awesome. I've not used it for like drawing or any of the other crazy stuff. I've just used it for mostly ad copy and stuff like that. But in the forums and being able to like, hey, can you make me, this is really easy for those of you who are listening and you don't have a bio yet. You can go into Chat GPT and say, make a bio for me. That's 150 words or less. It'll pop it out in 5 seconds. There's
Yes.
no more having to think really hard on what should I say? Should I say I hang out in the trees? Should I mention my children? Do I mention this book I read? It's amazing.
It is
Yes.
amazing, and it's scary at the same time, because, the more we rely on technology in that way is, the less we are inclined to use in our own initiative and our own, creativity. So, as much as we want to use it, we still want to do our own, groundwork,
Definitely.
because
Don't assume that everything that
it's
ChatGPT
correct.
is correct, and don't assume that it's gospel or anything. Always reread something, and even the different levels of AI. Like I have AI for the podcast and it populates it. I pay extra for it because this is before ChatGPT came out. And that group of like show notes or topic, when I put it in Chat GPT, I was like, oh, lovely. It's just like because it was all it didn't read the right way. So always proofread everything you get because it's not, it's not 100% foolproof for sure. Um excuse me. I've been seeing that they've been spraying really hard because of the fires in the next state over.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Are you in
I'm in Arizona and California is the next state over, and all of the fires are finally reaching here. And if you think about the distance, because it takes 5 mountain ranges to hit my mom's house, which is in Irvine. So it has the cloud cover has to cover all of that desert. But we went and running yesterday and I've just been like coughing ever since. So I'm like, I should have ran inside. I just can't help it if I get a chance to be in the forest. I just want to be outside.
Oh,
So one of those weirdos, I know. Um,
That's okay. That's
Let's
okay.
talk about finding the right talent. So you guys work exclusively with other contractors, or are you just subcontracting from other companies? How is that working out for your business model?
Okay.
We actually do a mixture. So
Okay.
we'll have employees, we'll have subcontractors, and we'll have contractors. So, well, contractors is the same thing as subcontracting, but when I say subcontracting, it would mean like, okay, I get it from another company and I give it to another company for them to do versus contracting where I'm the one that got the contract and I find a contractor to do it. So we choose contractors based on availability.
Yes.
Our employees, they don't do full time, so they're also part time, so their schedule is kind of flexible as well.
Right.
So we use contractor to do the jobs that they can't do as well.
So you have a hybrid model, which is fantastic. How many W-2s do you currently have?
We have two W-2s
Okay.
and how many contractors, which
It
fluctuates.
fluctuates because we have people who go to school, they'll call us in the summer during the holidays and and they'll come on and work. So I would say to stable we have about three and then we have family members that also work with us as contractors.
Okay. So like a
I'm
total of
sorry, I would say around nine,
nine?
10.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then persons who come on in between the holidays and the summer, I would say between three and four.
3 and 4. So anywhere from 9 to like 12 or 13.
right.
13 would be
Okay.
good.
So that's amazing. So and it looks like according to your website, you guys do a whole spectrum of cleaning. There's not just you don't just focus on house cleaning. You have commercial. It looked like there were some window opportunities and then some other things. I quickly skimmed through what you did. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys cover job wise and whether that has been beneficial for you or if it's something that you're going to do long term. Like I have done it all, so I prefer, post-construction cleaning, regular maintenance cleanings, and then move out cleanings. Those are the three things I focus on.
Okay, awesome. Well, let me touch back a little bit in the past. So we used to take on pretty much almost any and every job. So, if someone
Been
called us in New York, we'll drive to New York, to clean their homes, and stuff like that. And we find, that it was really time consuming and exhausting, especially
Right.
when, you just finish one and you are almost home or you're almost done for the day and another one calls you and then you have to drive another hour or more to
Right.
get to that person. So I find that, not to exhaust yourself and your resources, is to narrow that down, pick a demographic, pick an area and just stick to it.
Service
You
area.
can you'll get better returns that way. So we do service all of North Jersey. Even though we're looking to expand, we service North Jersey currently. And
For the people who don't know, is North Jersey by the beach or not by the beach?
It is, well,
New
the
Jersey's a tiny little state, so I mean,
oh, actually,
if you
it's
blinked, you could
huge.
breeze by.
No, no, New Jersey is well, it's smaller than other states, but
Right.
it's kinda like long. So you have
Mhm.
North Jersey, Central Jersey, and South Jersey.
mhm.
Gotcha.
So we're at the top, and then to the east and west you have Pennsylvania, or Delaware actually, and then you have the Hudson River, which borders New York. So you have from New York and all the way to Delaware.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we're pretty much
in the middle
yeah, we're pretty much in the
somewhere.
middle, so it takes us about an hour or hour and change to make that full circle to touch like three different states.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if we were further down, then it would take like 3 hours, and the lower you go is like 5, 6 hours to drive up
Okay, so
the
it's
entire.
wider at the bottom then.
Yeah.
yes.
So we're
Interesting.
we're in a good spot.
Awesome.
So we're right in the middle.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're right in the middle. You've learned to scale down your service area and not take on every job, which is
Yeah.
always, I always like to ask the questions like, what was the most unusual job that you took on? Because everybody can relate to like the weirdest or the most oddest thing that you've taken on as a job. What was it?
There is so many I cannot count.
Yeah, there is a lot.
Seems to be a lot of things in the cleaning industry.
Yeah,
Things we wish we never saw.
I'll tell you a quick easy one that at the time, because it was just me and her starting out, we weren't sure what the scope of work was, so we got hired to deep clean a house that they were doing construction on, but the kitchen, they weren't finished with the kitchen, so they asked us to if we could take the wallpapers off the wall, you
Oh my
know?
God.
And we said, yes, okay, of
Yeah,
course.
no
Thinking
problem.
it was gonna be easy. It took us like 6 additional hours, and we had to be using like a chisel to chisel the wallpaper off the wall. When we were done, we actually got some kind of damage from our wrist. And I think we only charged him like $200 to do the entire kitchen. We did not know anything at all.
It's amazing to me.
So
Yeah, because removing of wallpaper, you have to have the chemical, which helps to lift it up, and then you have to have the heat gun to pull. It's a whole process. But yeah,
we did not
you,
know.
Yeah, the contractor that was actually doing the work was thrilled that we were willing to do it. And he just left
I
for
bet
the
they
day.
were. Oh my goodness, I bet they were. Oh, that's just so wild. Absolutely wild.
So we learned we from that. I think that was a turning point when when we decided actually not okay before we take on a job we have to definitely do research if we can do it, if it's in the scope of work or not. So that would be probably one of the least weirdest, but
Hmm.
one of the ones that I would say, okay, you really need to you really need to know exactly what you're doing before you say yes to anything that the client requests, because that can have serious repercussions later on.
Damage. I mean, I've seen people like do the weirdest things with shower doors. You know how they have the super thick half-inch glass shower doors that are really heavy?
Mhm.
I've seen people take steel wool and just like try to get all the water spots. I'm like, what were you thinking when I go, do you know how much those doors are? They're like
Oh
50.
my God.
And they're like, well, I don't have insurance. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna suckville for you, man. But
Wow.
yeah, I've seen a lot of people like, they want to try out something new and they always want to do it in a client's home. I do not recommend that you do that. If you want to try out something new, do it in your own home.
Home.
Where
Hmm.
if something is, even if it's a rental, if you damage it, it still gives you time before you move out to get it replaced.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've seen it all. I've absolutely seen it. I've seen, you guys have heard me talk about the chandelier that fell and it impaled somebody. It's just the most, and it like missed the lung. It like went through. They were the long, um, I want to say they were like prisms, maybe
Hmm.
Oh yes.
triangular. The homeowner, sorry, was that me?
That is me. I apologize.
This is totally fine. Um, they were prisms, and it was hanging in the foyer on the way up to the stairs, and the homeowner wanted to get it done, and she touched it, and it had been hit in there since the 60s, and it fell. And then the prisms bounced off the floor. A couple of them hit the wall, so they were like swords. And then one bounced off and hit the cleaning tech right here.
Mm.
So
Mm.
on the left side, like below the heart and above the lung. Thank God. They put a blood out right there, right?
Yes.
You have to be careful and understand what you're getting yourself into. Like you probably have learned that you don't do wallpaper removal.
Yeah.
We
that's
don't.
that's out of my wheelhouse. Sorry. So you never know. With that, have you had any incidences with the actual cleaning techs and the 1099s doing anything unusual?
Um,
Luckily, no.
Oh,
not
thank
not
goodness.
not too bad. Minor things like spilling water on the carpet or solutions,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing excessive because we try to prep them in advance and give them training,
Right.
you know,
So do you
and
go through
reminders.
right? So with the training, it's a gray area. Do you give them like a school that they go to have the formal training? How is that working out?
Them going to current customers that we currently service, and then we ask the customer, how was your cleaning? Because we want to see exactly, if the customers like them. We have particular customers that we send them to, and that way if those customers are happy, we know that the other customers will
Will
be
be.
happy based on what they do.
Okay, so you have training homes, so to speak. I'm not understanding your process.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
it's not training homes, but these clients have been with us for so long, and they know that we take on, additional technicians or contractors, and they, how do I put this? Is we it's not really a partnership, but they allow us to
Yes.
have those technicians come in their homes and do the cleaning, and they'll give us the ratings,
Yeah. So whereas you have
or
some
feedbacks.
customers that prefer to
Yes.
have the same cleaners over and over again, they're more flexible to say, okay, sure, if you have someone new, they can come on in and they'll
I'll
give us feedback.
get that right out. I don't
Okay.
want
I
you guys to
appreciate
have it.
that. Thank you.
Um, so miscommunication about tasks, timelines, and standards, with that kind of go with the training piece as well. So are you like for I only work with 1099s, and they have a customer request inside of the jobber system, so that I don't actually tell them that they have to do the bathrooms first or any of that stuff. I just say these are the items that they are, the normal cleaning plus this and this. When it comes to those types of things, how are you working with your employees for miscommunications or making sure that the standards are being met? So you have the W-2s, they probably went to the training houses as well. Are you giving your training houses a discount? How are you getting, you're just showing up with them? What are you doing to get them to, your W-2s to get in the door so they can clean?
Well, for the W-2s, we actually go with them on the jobs. And it's really, as you say, we just introduce them to the client. And then while we're doing the job, then we just train them on a specific area, help them with the job. And then, there's a 2-week nesting period where we do it with them side by side. Then afterwards, we'll say, okay, you're in charge of the bathrooms today. Then when they're done, we go in and check, show them the spots that they're missed, like do a coaching session. So those, if it's a maintenance key that normally takes like 2 hours, it's going to take a little bit longer because then we'll have to stop and do the teaching sessions in between. And that's pretty much how we do the W-2. And then after about a month, then we'll have them go on their own to do the jobs.
That is a long time for training. So that's got to be like when I trained, it was 20 hours in and out. It was 5 days of training. You either made it or you didn't. And then there would be subsequent like training sessions that would happen. But I used to,
Mm-hmm.
when I had Castle Keeper cleaning, I used to train and I would spend like $1,200 training each one of them. Well, I trained them so well, they would just go off and start their own cleaning business, right? Everyone business owner, but in reality, 90% of them failed, right? So um I think that is a really great amount of time, but you have to kind of look at the labor costs for you
Yeah.
with that.
I think the reason why we did the 30 is because we actually have so many different jobs coming in. Like we'd have a move out cleaning or maintenance or a hoarding cleaning because we do hoarding cleaning as well. So each one of those types are different.
Yeah.
So and they're spread out throughout the entire month.
Oh, okay. Now
So
I understand.
we take them on the different ones to say, okay, when you're doing the deep cleaning, this is how you do it. And then maybe next week it's okay, hoarding cleaning. This is how you
Gotcha.
do a hoarding cleaning. So it usually takes about a month for them to get up to speed with the different types of cleaning.
Now I understand. Okay, that makes more sense,
Yeah.
definitely. And then managing insurance. How are you guys working out insurance? Are your 1099s are carrying their own insurance, I'm assuming, and your W2s, you're carrying insurance on them. Is that how you're working it out?
Yes. So some of the contractors have their own W-2, have their own insurance.
Okay,
And I'm gonna split that up just a little bit. So the W-2s, we carry it for them. The contractors, they have their own except for family members.
gotcha. And then that would be allowed because they're their family, right? That
Yes.
that works out that works out great that way.
Yes.
Definitely. And then I know that there is a high turnover in our industry in general. It's considered a transient industry, just like the restaurant, waiter, waitress, bartender industry. It's all where the shiny stars are. What
Yes.
are you guys doing to help um, people stay on longer? What kind of company culture are you building? What are you doing for them to help them be part of a bigger thing um, for you?
See that one?
Um, could you repeat the question? I missed the
Sure.
first part.
So it says high turnover. So
Mm-hmm.
what are you guys doing to help prevent high turnover in your neck of the woods to help develop them and make them better cleaning techs? Are you doing like Mother's Day appreciation days? What are you doing to help your helpers stay on longer?
Okay, got it. So one of the things we do is we invest in their training for one, because what I realize is that we will always be the best cleaners in our company. That usually tends to happen, and I guess because we just have more interest in the company than someone who's going to
It
be working
benefits you.
for us, right? So what I find is that sometimes they get to the house, and if we come to check, and we start saying, okay, you missed this spot, you missed that spot, you missed this spot, sometimes they get a little bit frustrated. So, what we've started recently doing is we'll send out a message in the morning, like, hey, good morning, team. You have this amount of cleanings for the day. We'll give them a little positive motivation and then give them a little reminder. Okay, when you're cleaning the windows, you wax on and you wax off. Just a little tip. Because it can get overwhelming, the amount of information that you have to know to
There's
do
a
the
lot of
cleaning.
nuances.
A
Yes.
lot of nuances, and people just think, oh, it's just cleaning. It's actually not. It's very technical. Sometimes you can get it down to a science. But and that's one of the reasons why too, our training process is a little bit longer, because we actually do a little bit more detailed cleaning. Even with our regular maintenance cleaning, we actually pay attention to detail as well. And because we want them to get good as fast as possible. We want to give them those small cleaning tips on a daily basis, just to make their lives a little bit easier. Then we'll do surveys like, did you have any issues with the home? What was your biggest issue? And then we try to create a training around that.
Gotcha. So with that being said, the communications there are giving a motivation and there's I'm sure a validation process with are you guys working in teams or are you working in solos or how are you what's your business model? I guess it
We
depends on the job too.
It
we
depends on the
we
job.
yeah, we do a mix. So we do solo, we do teams. Sometimes we bring several teams together depending on the project.
Gotcha.
But most of the time it's one. It's one person.
One to two.
1 to 2. Okay, well then that's
The
time for a potty break.
Structure, Scale, and Profit Cleaning Business Academy is the best investment that I made in my business. I truly feel that when it comes to being a business owner, anyone can start a business, but it's not easy to maintain that business. If you do not have structures in place, it will fall. Shannon Miller is a godsend. My business nearly ran itself, well, I nearly ran my business into the ground due to not knowing a lot of things, and thank God for Shannon because she was able to pull me out of the hole, and we are back on the road to recovery, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm so happy to be heading in the direction that we are. Thank you, Shannon.
Oh
I
no.
know she's just got a little sniffle. It's actually winter here, so it's very cold.
It's extremely cold.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I feel like I shouldn't even complain. I mean, it was like 20 this morning when I walked outside. And I told my littles, I'm like, you have to wear a jacket, and they're like, oh. And I'm like, you have to wear a jacket. Why do I have to wear a jacket? I'm like, it's 20. Anytime it hits 20, you have to
Stay warm, stay warm.
they're 8 and 9. Or my oldest is 30 and my baby is 8. So I have a wide spectrum of children for sure. Let me see if I can get her. But he always challenges me, my little 8-year-old. I'm like, you're just feisty all the time.
I know what you mean. I have one too.
Right. And it's just they want to question everything that should be able to get her in on what you're doing, because God forbid you know what you're talking about, right? Anyway, I got her the let's see if it'll go now. So she should have it on there, and it looks like she just maybe logged into the wrong thing. So having insurance and life, I'm cheating off my notes here.
That's okay.
Inconsistent. So when you guys are operating, depending on the job, are you also having someone do quality checks? How are you guys ensuring quality, especially with contractors? Are you relying on the customer to give you the quality? What are you doing to get quality out of your helpers?
Okay, so our system currently sends out what you call that, those 5-star, asking for reviews and opinions of the customers after each cleaning. We do also follow up with them on a weekly basis, and especially if it's a new client, we personally call them to make sure, and we also check in with the technicians as well. So 360 360 check.
Perfect, because everybody has their own little method on how they ensure quality. Like, for example, everything I do, like, we don't walk any properties at all. I had someone get upset with me because they wanted us to go and walk it. It was a partial clean. I've been doing it 15 years. You're not going to tell me anything I don't already know. But there is this, I've spoken to other cleaning business owners and they have quality control people, and like, are you training everybody to where they need to be? Because you really shouldn't need quality control, except for like with one-time cleanings. This is my opinion. If you're going to blunder it on the schedule, it's going to be a one-time cleaning versus regular maintenance, because 9 times out of 10, unless they're brand new, they already know the house, they already know expectations. They know that Mrs. Smith likes the vase here instead of over here. There's that dynamic where one-time cleanings, after you work so many hours, you're exhausted and you just want off the job, and you're not seeing the same sparkle that you saw when you first walked in. Is that how you guys are doing it?
Okay, so we differently from taking before and after pictures, which they have to do. Even if it's a maintenance cleaning, if you're
Yes.
going to that house for the first time, they're required to take before and after pictures.
Right.
We do, in asking the customers questions and getting feedback from the technicians, we do put special notes on our accounts. So it doesn't matter which technician goes there, they'll know that, okay, for this customer, they like it when you sweep underneath the rug, or when you go under the bed, or when you check the fridge for spoiled food. So, we put in those little things, and we also ask the customers, what are your pet peeves when we're booking them, So,
Right.
we can pay attention to those little things, that will give us that extra edge over another company or another client, or technician that they were dealing with. So, we try to communicate as much as possible and put in those little special notes. Um, am I missing anything?
I would say for after when the job is complete as well, we do call the customers asking for feedback as well. For maintenance clients that are regular, we do that maybe once a month, once every other month, just to make sure we're staying on top of things. And for one time clean, it's always after the service is done.
Right. I think that's the best practice for sure. Miss Jamie, you made
Hi,
it.
hi,
Hi.
Jamie.
Hi.
Hi, you guys. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Technology, super, I just got confused over, there's a lot of times that I gotta I'm here. So,
Hi.
I'm picking up what you guys are a little bit, and I'm sorry to jump in here, but I love talking about this stuff. So, um, how do you guys have, is it just you two or do you guys have,
So Jamie, just
Oh,
to catch you up on
yeah,
everything,
catch me up.
she has some W-2s and she has 1099s, and then she has
Oh,
family
hybrid.
that are W-2s and 1099s, and then she has others that are not family. So they have a wide variety of a workforce.
Oh, great. You get to pick from the, yes, I love that. And where are you guys located at?
New Jersey.
North Jersey.
Nice,
Yes.
wonderful. And you guys have I was hearing that you guys have somebody that comes in and goes and checks like a team lead, a couple of them probably.
Oh, no, no.
No.
No, no
We
team lead.
do we'll do the checks on the trainings. So pretty much I would say they get 2 weeks worth of training. If
Okay.
they're contractors, W-2s will get 30 days of training because we give them pretty much a wider range of cleanings that we do. So we do hoarding cleaning, we do deep cleaning, moving cleaning, post construction, maintenance. It's a lot.
Flooring.
We
Yeah,
do
Yeah,
that's a
no,
lot.
flooring, carpet cleaning.
yeah. Well, I got my hand in the jar just like that as well. Um, but here in California, on certain cleans, I have to go down to Sacramento and do this training because, California. That's all we need to say. California needs everything. I need to be
Everything.
certified. Um, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you guys do a lot of videos and stuff like you
We
make your
recently started doing videos.
Mhm.
Before I would say because we were wearing so many hats. We were wearing so many hats. We recently started delegating some tasks. Um, oh my goodness,
Hiring
Yeah.
a VA.
hiring a VA.
So, so,
Really?
so what used to happen is like when we went into the house, we were so booked ourselves. There was literally no time for anything else.
Yeah,
So,
that's
once
rough.
we started delegating other things like admin work, calling back the customers, we can free up a little bit more time where we're okay. Now we can take the time to actually like take the pictures. And I know it should have been something that was important from the start, but sometimes at the time, we were just
Going.
Trying to make
just
money.
going through the motions, right?
Yeah. One
So
foot in
right
front of
now,
the other.
exactly. So right
Yeah.
now we're pretty much starting to implement that. We're okay. Every job that we go on, we're gonna take before and after pictures, and we also want to get testimonials from the clients right there and then, video
Oh,
as
yeah. Yeah.
video proof. So we just started implementing that, Janet. Actually, last month, December.
Awesome. I love that. When I first got into this industry, taking a photo inside of someone's home was such a taboo and forbidden. It was not allowed. Now, because of the way our society has changed, and people will say things, especially with quality, and then they say things to get a discount is basically what it's come down to, shamefully.
Yes.
And even though you've done a good job, unless you have proof to back it up, you have to cover yourself. So yes, definitely taking before and afters. I know that there's been a big talk lately of having everybody be on camera. I'm still flat out against it. There's a lot of reasons why that I will not go into here. That you have to kind of look at the bigger picture of what that is doing to our society and our industry in general. But yeah, I think definitely having a short little video. We've done it for a long time because a lot of people have second homes here and they're not here. So we'll shoot a video and we'll talk them through the video. This is what we did here. This is what we did here. And this is what your house looks like now. And this is what we did here. And by the way, we couldn't get this off because we scrubbed it 15 times. It's not going to come clean. And then that way it kind of balances out the potential danger of, by the way, I'm disputing my credit card because I feel that I don't have to pay, the $650. You guys missed the hair in the tub. And you're like, ah,
Yeah,
okay.
like a video walkthrough, basically.
Yeah, it is. I'm like,
And
here's
so
the
that they can
video.
sign off on it still.
Right.
I think we can all attest to that. We've had clients do that, luckily, we haven't had that anymore. As you said before, you do the walkthrough, you point these things out to the customer, and even in booking, we let the customers know that, that we'll be taking before and after pictures, so
Right.
that you can have them for your reference. We let them know up front so they know what to expect.
Right.
We
I put
actually
them,
won't
I
give
put
them
it
unless
with
they
their,
request.
in their client portal.
Right.
Mhm.
Definitely. And then payment and budgeting, it's speaking of disputes, have you guys saw an increase in payment schedules like being disputed and contractors becoming too expensive? What is your take on that? I believe paying top dollar to all my contractors. So that means I can only take on certain jobs because my margin still has to remain the same. Are you guys doing that, or how are you working that? Are you just taking lesser and lesser? Are you keeping your profit margins the same? What are you doing to combat that situation that happens?
Okay, so first, I would say that in the past, we were paying way too much.
Like 85%.
We were paying out
85%. Oh my
we
gosh.
were paying out 85% to our to our contractors, and the pretty much there was no margin, that was really to just assist with softwares, any little overheads, and we were out there ourselves, so, and we were actually paying ourselves way less, so it
Oh,
wasn't working out. um Over time, we've actually changed that to where, it got to like 20%, then 30. And then we realized that every contractor is different, so we have a range that we pay, and we also have our margins that we want to stick within. So
good.
we are able to take a range of jobs where we can say, okay, we can send this contractor to this one so that, they're happy. We can still keep our margins, and then this contractor to this one, and we're still able to keep our margins. So we have that range there so that way everyone is happy. And also because we're goal oriented, we're it's not just about what the company wants and where we want to go, but what is it that you're looking to do and where you're looking to go to. And we try to help them to create a roadmap for themselves to achieving what they want.
I love that.
Oh,
Definitely.
that's great.
People always want a path. And if you can have someone point the path out for you without overthinking, because we all get in our way. I do it. I'm guilty. Your brain just goes, and then you're like, yeah, yeah. And then you start to think more. And it's this whole dynamic where if someone spells it out, you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you're like, woohoo, right?
Yes.
It makes it much nicer, definitely. And then have you seen an uptick of disputes for credit cards? It's been interesting the last year.
No, we
No.
actually don't have any, we haven't had any disputes in the last
Two, three
two, 3 years.
years.
Knock
Yeah.
on wood. That's all.
Yeah, we
How
before
long have
we
you
had a
guys
lot of it, but we realized, you have to keep on reinforcing what is expected to the
Mhm.
customer,
right?
and if possible, you have to let not if possible, you have to let the technician know. Everyone has to be on the same
Same
page.
page.
Your VA has to be on the same page. You have to be on the same page. Your technicians need to be on the same page. Your customers need to be on the same page. If we don't all know
Job.
what the job is or what the language is, if we're not speaking the same language, we're gonna have an issue. So, let me give you a quick scenario. You know, customer calls in, they want a maintenance cleaning. They just need 2 rooms done and 1 bathroom. They don't want the entire house. That's what we're gonna book them for. That's what we're gonna put on the job. We're gonna put on their pet peeves and everything. The technician is gonna get that. They're gonna see what the customer is supposed to get. And they know that if anything changes, they need to
Call us.
confirm with the customer. Anything changes, they need to call us. They need to let the customer know that this is not what is on the job description. I can do it for you, but you need to let the office know, or this is what's going to be the upcharge, because you have customers that will book something, and then when the technician gets here, they'll say, listen, that's not what I said. I told her that I wanted a deep cleaning. I told
Right.
her that it was awful, you
Or
know?
it's just a quick dust.
It's a quick dust.
It's
It's
always
a
a
it's
quick
a broom
dust.
sweep, right? You're just gonna have to sweep and dust. It's no big deal. It's not that big. It's
That's
not
an
that dirty.
automatic. Oh, okay, we're
Yes,
there
so
for.
you have to make sure that there's full transparency with the customer and
Mhm.
the technicians, They know that if anything changes, that they're supposed to be compensated more. The customer knows that when the technician gets there, oh my God, they know exactly what I said and it's there, and they know that they
Right.
can't change it,
Mhm.
so it's just communicating and make sure that you have full transparency, and that will help to eliminate any confusion, any discrepancies, anyone trying to get a little extra out of you you know
And it's
Totally.
very hard to, it's very easy to do. It's easy, especially if the technician is in there and they're
Mhm.
looking, sometimes they get, I don't know,
Oh,
sometimes some of my technicians get side, like they start doing, oh, there's a smudge on the windows. And I'm like, wait, no, that's not on the thing. It's not on
yes.
your job description.
Right.
How long have you
It's
guys
it.
been in business for?
well, we've been doing this for 10 years, but we registered 2019, so that's what, 7 years now?
Yeah.
Seven,
Officially.
7 years officially.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You're
And
so
not
knowledgeable. I love that. I
not
love, again, I just love talking about this stuff because you always can learn something new.
yes.
Always.
And in the beginning, you believe that you're the only one that's going through it until you start communicating and talking to other cleaners, and you're like, okay, I'm not the only one. It's,
Mhm.
we're all going through it. How can we learn from each other, inspire each other, and help each other to grow? So, you can't be afraid to ask questions, and to be open to learning something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that resonates a lot with the whole audience. That's why they listen to this show, is
Right.
because it's so much knowledge. We come across so much knowledge in here because Shannon, you guys, everybody has been in the trenches, you know,
Yes.
and
It's real knowledge. That's what I like about our show, is that it's real life experiences. It's not something that I read from a book. Oh, paragraph 3 says to do this.
mhm. Somebody that's never picked up a mop, I just they're out there doing what we're doing or what we have done.
Yeah.
I I have a question. Did you guys, whenever you started growing, did you ever feel guilty about backing out and just running? Because I do, I go back and forth with it, you know?
Um,
I'll admit I still do. And to give you an example, just recently, yesterday, so we actually went out on a large job yesterday. So it was like a 5,000 square foot home, deep cleaning. It was me, Natasha, and two other contractors. And we were there cleaning, and I'm just there, okay, I gotta get this done. I want the customer to be happy and all of that. And then there was a point in time when I felt like I wasn't doing as much as the contractors because they did the entire top floor and they did the entire basement, and then they still had to come and help us on the main floor, which was the kitchen. And I was like, oh, that's not fair.
Oh my God.
You know, because but then when you look at it, the square footage of the home, the top floor and the basement pretty much is the same square footage as the main floor, so we were pretty much doing about the same. So I did feel a little guilty that, okay, maybe they might think that, oh, they're doing more of the work than me, and because I'm the boss, I'm trying to, get one over them or stuff. So I had that thought in the back of my head. But
Yeah.
then I'm
I,
still trying to learn how to take myself out of it and be the leader in charge to say, okay, this needs to be done. I'm here on the job helping, and it's a team effort and not just everybody has to do equal, because the
Right.
basement may take less time than like a master bathroom, which is gonna be a whole lot of work. So
yeah, I
Right.
had to kind of bring her back a little bit on that because even in between that, we still had to check because of the type of client that it was. We had to stop and check. I had to go upstairs to make sure I checked their work to see, just to make sure that nothing was missed, and go downstairs. So, a lot of time was lost there. And I think it's because we're so used to finishing our section before everyone else.
Yeah.
But you do have some of those clients that you have to just get it so
Yeah.
perfect.
You have to
you
nail it.
know
I'll tell you that I got a little guilty whenever I purchased my first house. I don't, I felt a little guilty, like, should I be doing this? Am I allowed to do this? Sometimes I ask those questions, like, I don't know. But then I look and I'm like, you know, uh, and sometimes they'll send me little videos. A couple of them have, and they'll show me their child's birthday party, and they'll put, you did all this, you created all this, you pay us the money to make us be able to do this. And I just, but I still have my guilty moments of and I'm trying to get it in my head, like, it's
you
okay
deserve
for this to
it.
you
happen.
deserve it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Right? It's okay. I get you guys the job, the work, I pay, I do all the back end stuff. It's okay for me to purchase a house. So,
Congrats.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Congratulations.
absolutely. You know, those are the things that you should put on your wall. Maybe create a little vision board where you can remind yourself of the good that you're doing for others, and you're changing, you're making that great impact on other people's lives. As we were mentioning to Shannon earlier, we're very goal oriented, and you want to find out, what it is that those persons are working for. What are their whys. Why is it that they want this job, or what are the things that they want to achieve in life, and you help them to say, well, okay, align it with your business, and you say, okay, if you since you're trying to achieve this, you want to get a new car by X time, and you want it to work part-time, you want it to do 3 days. Okay, if you can do an extra hour, then you can do two jobs instead, and then that will help you to save this amount or this percentage and get to your dream car by X time. So once you kind of get to lay out those kind of things for them, it's easier. We had a contractor that joined us about 3 years ago, and she had pretty much just left high school. She just had a baby. She wanted to do cleaning because she said, that was, one of the jobs that paid the most, and she didn't want to just go into a regular job and tie down all of her time. And at the same time, she wanted to go back to school, but she wanted to put it off. I had to encourage her that, I know it's gonna be hard, but you need to sign up for school right now. I loved her. The first week she started working with her, I'm like, I don't have to teach this girl anything,
Oh, it's
you
just,
know?
yes, I love
And
that.
she was with us for like a year and a half, and now I forgot what you call it, where you do the ultrasounds for the babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ultrasound.
Yes, so
Yes.
she went through school, and she eventually took a internship with them, and now she's working with them. But every now and then she'll call, we'll check in with each other. But when she started the internship, she even cut her hours less, but it was a beautiful relationship, and we're still like family now. So you can't feel guilty or selfish if you know that you're doing your best to put that person forward, because no one is going to be with you forever. Everyone has to grow,
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
once you have that mindset, you shouldn't be feeling guilty. You are doing your best, and you're making a great impact on other people's lives.
I think
Yeah.
that time has changed a lot. Like when I grew up, you were expected to get a job and stay there for like 20 years. That was your and that was your due. And then, it was reciprocity. So if you stayed with them 20 years, they would give you retirement. Those days are long gone.
Gone.
I don't know of anybody who does that. I mean, Hard Rock Cafe in Vegas, which opened up on my birthday, if you made it 10 years with them, they used to give you a Rolex watch. I don't think they do that anymore. It was a blue dial with diamonds. Yeah, that was
That's
like the perk
nice.
of being with them and they actually shut down that hotel and just rebuilt another hotel still in Vegas. So I love the dynamics. It really is about collaboration and helping push others up. I say it all the time. The whole point of doing all of this craziness is so that you can sell it or you can gift it to family to create a legacy for others. It's not just about you. It's about the relationships you build and the connections you have made. And we're starting to see that finally. So
Yes.
it's been really nice. Do you guys have any? We're getting right here at an hour, and I know you guys got a lot to do today. Do you have any questions for Jamie or myself? Um,
Um, no, I just want to, thank you so much for choosing us to be on the podcast.
Exciting.
It's our first podcast appearance, so we're a little bit nervous. But you guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, I
Definitely.
have I
So
have
happy to
one
have met
quick
you.
question.
Yeah.
Sure.
How do you go about doing your automations? I know you mentioned Jobber and that made it easier for you, but how do you automate more admin tasks and your scheduling, or even customer self-service?
There should not be 100% customer self-service. We're a
Okay.
human-based industry. That is flat out. That's my opinion. You may disagree with me. You may
No, I
not.
don't.
But so there should always be a way for them to channel you and get one of you if there's an issue. The
Yeah.
most frustrating thing I hear it all the time is that they tried, and even when we were talking to Chris Schwab, is they're trying to automate everything in our industry, but you can't automate customer service because we're a human based industry. You can automate other tasks. Like for example, you can, I still haven't done it and I'm dragging my feet. It's, my website was down as I was telling you. You can buy stuff off of your website, but you still have to call them because you know that the customer is going to buy the cheapest package.
Yes.
when, when they need to have, not a hoarding clean, but it hasn't been cleaned in 6 years. So there's points of contact that still have to happen. As far as chatbots, AI is taking over that. It's really easy peasy. They're pretty low cost right now. I'm seeing Clean Pixels doing some things. I haven't had a chance to catch up to him, but I'll be interviewing him probably in the next round of interviews. So there's a lot of automation that's happening. It's just being able to afford that automation. Having a digital calendar system, a scheduler it can be, Jamie, I think you pay $300 a month. I don't have the deluxe.
380.
I don't have the deluxe version. I just pay 100 and
However, it does do a lot of that automation. And now
right.
they have this great thing that's called Copilot. And this is only on Jobber. I've tried everything else and I always kept coming back to Jobber because of the incentive that it keeps me here with the
Right.
refer 3 months. So,
So
Yeah.
making those things more automated, making your tasks more automated. I know everyone's saying I made 175 ads in minutes off AI. I don't know if that, yes, you can script those things to happen, but I don't know if it's going to actually get you the ROI that you're looking for. Because we remember when we were talking about ChatGPT, you still have to go in and tweak it the way it's so it's your voice. It's not just
Yes.
a generalized voice. So
right.
there's a lot of stuff
It's
changing.
only as smart as you make it.
Right.
Yes.
And yeah, it's I'm pretty much other than a couple things here and there to tweak it, I'm fully automated, like reminders and the them seeing the schedule and what they need to do at what house. We leave each other notes. We send each other. We throw their pictures in there. They make Jobber, even whenever they clock in, it'll show me within a range that they're there.
But they're
They're
there.
not over at the gas station and I'm just paying them to talk talking on the phone, you know. Um, it like Shannon says, um, it's not going to ever be 100%. There has to be some sort of connection, and I think that's part of the gig here.
To just give them that human touch. It's very
Yes,
important.
that interaction to know that, oh, this person actually cares. They
Right.
got to hear the sincerity in your voice. And a lot of times, even though I'm more expensive than most people in my area, it's because of that interaction that, you get the job.
Yeah.
Um,
And
I
how many
agree. Being
how many
personable.
being personable, and how many times have you called because you have a customer service issue and it prompts you on the, hi, I'm the AI bot, and you're like, okay, what vocabulary words do I need to say to get the customer service person? Now you need the human
yeah,
because you're
yeah,
not
I wouldn't.
operating right. So you're like, okay, is it this word? So then you have to wait for it to round again. No, is it this word? Is it that word? It doesn't come with a glossary and say, okay, with my AI chatbot, you need to use this word to get customer service. And then another person has a different AI chatbot and you have to use this other word. And you're like, oh my God.
It's very
Yes.
frustrating.
It's frustrating. But you just want to get on and off. You don't want to, and I get it. They're saving on labor. I totally understand. But look at fast food.
Yeah.
Fast food, and it's scary. We know, at least in my area, I know for a fact Starbucks never mops their floor ever.
Mhm.
We have 5 locations in my area. They never mop them. There is no shift turn of cleaning up before they go. They just drop whatever they're doing and just leave. I'm like, who's cleaning the kitchen? I'll never eat at Starbucks. It's just
Oh,
like, but
wow.
watching fast food too. It's
Oh,
there as the minimum wage is increasing. It's not, they're not able to cover their costs because the food cost and labor are the two highest things after your brick and mortar.
That is
So you're
true.
going to see more automation happening. I mean, we just saw Chipotle came out with an avocado robot. Chick-fil-A just came up with their own facility to squeeze lemons on site, which gave them an additional income funnel for the essential oils that came from the lemon squeezing. And then they have less workman's comp because the employees are no longer doing that task. So we're starting to
Yes.
see things happen, and it's kind of like a baby step. There's not going to be a quick fix to automate everything in our industry, because we still will need to have that human contact and that connection, and or it just won't work.
Okay, I agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming
that.
on. I was exciting to talk to you, and I learned a bunch, and I will definitely clip out that one piece talking about. And if you guys have any further questions, please reach out.
Okay, no
We will.
problem.
Thank you so much. Bye,
Have a good
Jamie.
one.
Bye.
Bye, Shay.
Bye.